Hello, everybody. Happy Ornament Week. Hello. Let me know if you're here. I would love to know. And let me get it pulled up. I did not remember to grab my my iPad. So I'm going to have to see if I can watch from my phone. But if you're joining me, I would love it if you would let me know you're here. And also let me know where you're watching from. And the third thing is this the first time to watch? I would love to know that. So let me see. I'm not seeing it pull up. Not seeing any comments. Okay, here we go. Deborah's here helping me from West Virginia. Hello, Deborah. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you're doing. Okay, now I can see. I can see comments now. I can't always see them on my screen, so I like to have it on another place as well. There's MK. I'm so glad you're here. And Janet. All right. I'm wondering, is it hot where you are? Does it feel weird that we're painting Christmas whenever it's so hot outside? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so welcome. I'm not going to take up a lot of time talking and chit-chatting because I really want to be able to go over the painting part of the shepherd ornament. Hey, Tony, I'm glad you're here. I'm doing good. I'm a little bit, I think it's Tuesday because we're going live. Sandy, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Sandy. I'm glad you're here. We'll pretend like we're going to give you some cake for your birthday. Hey, Holly and Connie. So many names coming in. Awesome. Pam Register. Thank y'all. Marla's traveling. Yay. Beth is here from Arizona. Awesome. Okay, so y'all keep letting me know you're here, and then I'm going to start telling you about our project. So I'm calling this Ornament Week. We've already painted the first two sets. I'm calling them sets in the Nativity Love Story collection. So today's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to try and tackle the shepherd. And with that set is also the sheep. We're going to try and tackle this. Then, where's my other men? We've also got, hey Elaine, the Wisemen and the donkeys. So that's a tall order. Let's see if we can do it. But my thoughts are we'll focus on the shepherds today and possibly start the sheep. Then tomorrow we'll finish the sheep and do the wise men. And then Wednesday we will get the backs because each of these ornaments has artwork on the back also. Awesome. Okay, Jan's here. Haven't received her kit yet, but can't wait to get started. That's fine. Just watch. Holly, do members get the templates or do we have to buy them? Okay, that's a good question. Let me see if I can explain this clearly. So this is the kit, y'all. This is the kit for the shepherds and the sheep. And I'm using stuff from the kit. The camels, we will do that tomorrow, Marla. We're going to do the shepherd and probably the sheep today. We'll start the sheep, hopefully. So inside the kit, you get the printed Design Traceables, and I'm using one of these today. You also get the book pages. You get all of the studio stash and bling. And then you also get the paint card, paint dots. So I've been using that. They last a long time. It's a sampler of acrylic grade watercolor, artist grade, not acrylic grade. erase that from your memory. Artist grade. Watercolor. So they're so awesome because you can wet them and activate them. So here's how this, we've never done it this way before. So I'm having to really be careful how I say things, but I'm doing the tutorial. The tutorial for the entire collection I've done free. So the first one is Mary and the Star, and I did that in the Jingle Mingle event. So that's where all of this started, Mary and the Star, front and back. So that was in the Mary Jingle and Mingle. Then I did the other set, Joseph and the Donkey. I painted those and did that tutorial live over in the Creative Little Christmas Facebook event. So because I did the first two free and in events that were free, I felt like it might be confusing to do the last two as a paid thing. So here's how we did it. We just kept the same pattern. So the tutorial's free. If you want to get the design templates, those are for purchase in the website. If you want to get the printable art, the downloadable printable art, that's also available. This is the first time I've ever offered that, but I'm excited to be able to offer it. If you don't feel comfortable painting these and you want to, I painted these for y'all. The tags are 3x5, Beth. So this is an example. This one printed too big, but this is an example of the printable art. So what I did is I created a set of printables for each of these sets of ornaments. Set of printables for each set of ornaments. That's a tongue tire. So we have those options. So you can purchase the kit, get everything in the kit. If you don't want to do the painting part, you can purchase the printables and download those and print those out. Or if you already have art supplies and you don't really need the kit, you can get the templates. You can purchase the templates. And I think they're only $10. So I'm glad you asked that question so that I could kind of go over some of that. So I put in the description, I put the link, but I'm going to see if I can show it here. So that's the link right there for how to get to the collection, the Nativity Love Story series. So it's in the comments also. So just scroll up to the top and that'll take you to it. Any of our Creative Heart members that are in here, the replay for all of this is going to be in the workshop hub. And if you purchased a kit, that's where you'll find your replays also. You can also find it on Facebook. You'll just have to scroll and find it. I love our workshop hub because I see it as a convenience. It helps me to know that y'all can find the tutorials. So I love having that hub. So the way it works is anytime you purchase a kit from me, the tutorials are in the workshop hub. And that way you can watch it at your convenience. You can find it easily. So I love that about our hub. Our members have access to the workshop hub and anyone who purchased a kit. So awesome. I see Adrienne is here and Megan. Hey, I'm so glad y'all are here. Okay, so I think I've covered everything, but if you have questions, Adrienne will probably be watching out for me in the comments. So I know that maybe let me know if there's anyone who's here is a first time. Y'all let me know if there's anyone here that's watching for the first time. That might help me to make sure that I cover more things that our followers already know, okay? Because I want to make sure you have the answers to what you need to know. Okay, so let's talk about the shepherd. So the shepherds are these three guys with these little sheep on a hill, and then there's a painted star up there, and there's also a metal star. So you can do this so that it's on the front or the back. So I love old book pages, and I've been really experimenting with this. So I'm excited to tell you there's more than one way to do this. So let me tell you some of the different ways to do it, and then think about which is the most beneficial to you. Okay. So one of the ways, and I've already got it started, is I went ahead and took my wooden tag. I pulled one of the book pages. We're using from in the kit, there's a book page from our inspiration book, two from Galilee. Oh, it's upside down. There it is. Two from Galilee. This is our inspiration book. And so we've been including a page of this in all the kits. So I pulled the page. And don't let me forget this, y'all. I need to write this down. I'm going to do a giveaway. So I'll do a giveaway. I'll choose 2 names, and it'll pull those names from the commenters, and write myself a note giveaway because I will forget. And I'm going to give away your choice of a Two from Galilee book. I've also got a choice of art print bundle, and the other choice would be a lettering kit. So I wrote myself a note. If I forget, y'all can remind me, but we'll do that at the end, and it'll pull those names from the people who have commented. Okay. So now let me get my brain back over here. So this is a 3x5 tag, wooden tag. I pulled a book page, and y'all, you can use your adhesive of your choice. You could use Mod Podge to put this down. You could use Collage Medium. You could use, I'm using a glue stick, and here's why. And I want you to remember this, for those who have problems with their attention like I do, zero in on this. So you don't want adhesive on the top, because we are going to be painting on this book page, okay? So when you apply your glue, whatever adhesive you use, keep it on the back of that book page, okay? So this is one way you can do it. You can apply the book page. I used a craft glue stick. It's the Pritt glue. I love this glue. I applied it there. I used, where's my traceable? I used the traceable that was in the kit, wherever it is. Here it is. Here it is. I used that, and then I cut off a piece of gray transfer paper, okay, graphite paper. And I applied it. I sandwiched it like this, y'all. If you've never done this before, this is how you do it. This is on top. This is underneath. Make sure that the transfer side is down. If you're not sure, test it on a piece of paper to see which side is it going to transfer. Traceable, transfer, surface. That's how you do it. Then tape it just a little bit to hold it still. Use a stylus or a pen or pencil with a good point, and you just trace over it. And what you get is the design is traced onto that book page, and then you can paint directly on there. Okay, that's one way. So the other way is you could transfer, show you again, book page, transfer paper, this, and you could paint it directly on the book page. I've tried it that way. It works fine. And then I took it and applied it to my wood tag. So the reason that I think that some of you might want to do this is, I know some of you painting, this is new to you, or you're fairly new to it and it might make you nervous. Listen to me. I want you to enjoy this. I really do. I want you to enjoy this. I don't want it to be stressful. So if painting it directly onto your wooden tag makes you nervous, you're afraid you're going to mess up, whatever, do it this way. Just do it this way. Then if you feel like you messed up, then all you got to do is move it over and do it again. Do another one. Another important thing to tell you about these book pages, this is the original book page. You can make a copy of it, do a color copy, and you could paint directly on top of that. You've also received this really cool old dictionary page. The paper is so old, it's brittle, and I love the pages. You've also should have this Finding the Lost Treasure book in there page. So you don't have to do it on the Two from Galilee page. Okay, so are you ready for the third way to do this? And if you watched Friday's tutorial, you might have already caught this, but you can do this right here on this paper. You could take this and use like color pencil, and you could actually color it, add the color right on top. Now keep in mind that this is just copy paper that we put in the kit. It's just copy paper. It's not going to hold the water like it would if you put this on watercolor paper. But here's what you could do. You could take your traceable sheet, pretend like that's there. You could put that in there, put it in your copier, and run some cardstock through the copier, and that's going to make it a little bit heavier, and it will hold your water better if you're going to be doing the watercolor. Okay, so there's lots of options. Choose the one that is beneficial to you or that works for your setup. Okay, so for this one today, I'm going to just paint right here on this. If you watched Friday's tutorial for the donkey, I painted right on the paper, but then I took the vellum paper and I added color to that vellum paper, added the little dots to make it dimensional. So if you missed that tutorial, that was on Friday. And so I'm going to use a similar technique on this. I'm just not going to do the vellum. And then when we do the Wisemen tomorrow, I will show you how, let me get my little sample. I did this one right on my traceable. So I'll show you that tomorrow. Okay. All right. So for those who are just joining, thank you for being here. Welcome to Ornament Week. So let's talk about our paint. So I'm going to be using, trying so hard to keep my desk orderly, and it's a challenge because I've got so many stuff on here. So I'm going to be using the paint dots that are here. If you have like Tombow markers, the brush markers, if you have watercolor pencils, those will work. Neo colors, we'll use some of that. There's lots of options with this, but I'm going to use the watercolor. All right, so let me see. Where's my little tabletop? There we are. I might have to move that. Let's see. Hang on, guys. This might get a little bit shaky. I want to be able to get it a little bit closer. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to be able to zoom it in as close as I want to, but maybe this will help. Let's see here. Sorry, I didn't already have that set up. I thought it would work. Y'all still see okay? Okay. Tell me in the comments if you have a kit. That would help me to know. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do it like this. Let's just do it like this. There's always ways to improvise, right? If you're creative, there's always ways to improvise. I just want you to be able to see is my thing. All right, can y'all, oh, let me take me. Hold on, please. Now, how are we doing? Can y'all see? Tell me if you can see. Oh, my comments are, okay. Okay, good. That helps me to know. Let's see. I'm rigging my station, ladies. Just bear with me. This camera doesn't zoom, and I wanted you to be able to see better. All right, so here we go. So here is my design, and here's my one that I've already painted. So this one I painted directly onto the book paper, and I like the way these colors turned out, but I tell you, I'm just going to copy it. I mean, I'm just going to use this as reference. So I really liked the way it worked. I will say that if you decide to do it this way, take your wood piece and trace it onto your book pages like this, and you'll just know you have to work within that framework. That's how I did this, but the more I painted it, you couldn't really see my pencil marks. So that's a quick version of how you can do this. All right, so let me move that. That's not the one we're going to paint on. We're going to paint on this one. So in your kit, you should have your tools to try. I'm trying to get mine without turning anything over. Okay, here's your tools to try. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I'm actually using a few things from the other kits because I designed it that way. I wanted you to be able to use that pink pencil with any of this. Your yellow pencil. This is the white crayon. The brown pencil. We're going to use all of this. You don't have to have them all, but that's what I'm going to be using. And I don't have this pencil, so I'm going to get this one out, and I'm going to save that white crayon for somebody else. Okay, so here we go. The other thing you're going to need is a brush, and so I'm just using a water brush. Can y'all see the tip of that is not, I'll show it to you on my finger, is not very big. You don't need a lot because these designs are small. You could also use, I thought I had one handy, just a regular, yeah, here's one. You could also use just a paintbrush like this. This is it's called a liner, but you could also get one that's a round, but that's what you're going to need. And I'm going to pull this off because it's driving me crazy. So I like to use water-soluble supplies. So I like to use water-soluble pens, markers, crayons. I love to use those because they help give you that really soft, translucent look. So I've also got some clean water. You're going to need that. And I've also got paper towel right there. So I've got a paper towel here to blot with, but you also are going to need some paper towel like this just to hold in your hand or to keep it nearby, because if you get a little bit crazy with the water and it spills out somewhere, all you have to do is blot it like that. So I love that about it. Okay, so I decided on their little headdress things to make them more subtle. So see, this is brown, brown. This is more of the gold color. And then I let the color be at the bottom. I did that because I wanted the emphasis to be on the star. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. If you had done the emphasis on the top, I mean, that's fine. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. This is the one that came in the kit. And where's my dots? And here's our dots. So I'm going to just outline, trying to make sure you can see it, his little headdress. And what I'm doing with this is I'm outlining and pulling it up, but I'm leaving some of that, you see that? I'm leaving some white spots in there. Oh, and I was wanting to emphasize that word. So look, that's a good, happy mistake there. I'm circling the word Messiah. I usually try and go through and look for any words that I want to emphasize in a collage piece, but I forgot. Okay, so here we go. Now watch this. Where's my thing? I'm going to add some water to my brush. Did you see what I did? I tapped it on the water. Then I'm just going to touch it on that paper towel so that it's damp. And I'm going to hold this like here because I want you to see whenever I add water, look what happens. This is the joy of water-soluble supplies. It looks like a pencil, but once you add water, it adds pigment to it, and it's just fascinating. See that? So I'm just putting a very light wash. Now see how shiny that is? That lets you know that that's wet, and just let it rest, okay? So now I'm going to go over here to my paint dots. No, I'm not. I want these to be lighter, so I'm changing my mind. I'm just going to use this brown pencil that, you know what? I just noticed something. It's okay. We're not going to, I did a different design on the printable. It's okay. All right, so this is still damp. So I'm just going to pull down, and I can feel that that's a good bit of water. So I'm just going to blot some of that excess water. I'm going to pull down and around on there. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll look up and periodically and look for your questions. Y'all see that? I just drew it in with that color, the super pencil. This is the one that came in Joseph's kit, I believe. I think he got the brown and the pink. Okay, so there's that. I got to remember to keep this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, now for this one, I want that to be that yellow ochre color, or Mars yellow is another name for it. So now I'm getting some of my paint off of my dot, and now this pretty color, isn't it? It's so fascinating how this works with old book pages, because those book pages are old. Okay, thank you, Sherry, for telling me. Y'all tell me that stuff. I miss that about Zoom. I love to teach using Zoom because I can hear y'all. Okay, so I just added some color now with from my paint dots. See that? This is like coloring. It's a lot like coloring. So now let's decide the colors that we want to do on our little guys, our shepherds. So I know, can see great now. Okay, good, Debbie. Thank you for telling me. I love this phthalo turquoise. I mean, I love this color. It's one of my favorites. I actually love all of these in this particular set. This is almost like a lighter version of that. So what I'm going to do is wet my brush again and get some of this fuchsite off. It's really light. And I'm going to start over here on this right side and go left. No particular reason, just that's just how it worked out. Okay, so I'm just getting a light. I'm just coloring it very lightly, y'all. That's all I'm doing. Now I'm going to go back and get some of my yellow, the Mars yellow, and I'm going to do the guy in the middle. And if you're using a water brush, sometimes it'll send out a little extra water without you even touching it. So that's why you use this without you squeezing it. So that's why you use this. So let me see if I can hold it so you can see. Can you see how wet that looks? I'm just going to blot just a little bit of that because I don't want it to spread. And mainly because I want to be able to hold it up and show you, and I don't want to make a mess. All right, so for this guy on the end, I'm going to use the Carmine, the Daniel Smith Carmine. And I'm going to put that right there. And see, part of the words "to from Galilee" ended up right at there for my little shepherd. So I'm just going to blot up a little bit around that word Galilee. See? And then with my dry brush, I'm drying it off. Oh, you can't see that part now that I moved it closer. I dried that off. I'm just going to lightly let that cover. So it's just coloring. That's all we're doing. Okay, so now I want to take this buff and I'm going to get some paint on there. And we're going to use this for, he's the only one that his face is showing. This little guy in the middle. Put a little bit too much. And this buff is basically the color of the book page. And we know that their skin was probably darker, but so I'm just building this up. So I just covered in where his face would be. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to put a really light wash around here for the sky. So with the Prussian blue, it's a really vibrant color. See, I want just a really light wash. See how dark that is? But if I look right there, that's about the way I want it. I want it to be light. With watercolor, you can always go back and add another layer for the darkness, but you are going to have a hard time getting it off, making it lighter once you get it on there. And really what I should have done first, y'all, is the grass, but it's okay. It's really okay. I don't want you to stress over this at all. So we're just going to get some of this blue down. And I know about where the heel, like I know that's the heel right there. See, I didn't trace my heel in there. So if you traced your heel, you already know. All right, see, I'm just doing a really light wash is all I'm doing. And you don't need a lot of water with this. If you're coloring yours on top of your traceable, you really don't want a lot of water because that paper is not designed to hold a lot of water. Okay, I keep forgetting to look up, y'all. Okay, so let me see if I can. All right, so now you can see this is all you want right there. Now with that Fuchsite Genuine, we're going to go back and use that color down here at the bottom for the heel that the little sheep are on. So you're just coloring in the spots. And my water brush keeps spitting out extra water. So I guess it's showing off for y'all. So I can show you how to blot it if you get too much water even in your paint. Okay, now, hey Holly, where do I buy my watercolor paint? I shop with Blick. I love the Daniel Smith brand, so I will order those from Blick. They're a good source for all the different watercolors. Okay, now I've got one base coat in place. If you notice, I did not paint the sheep. I'm just leaving them blank for right now, okay? So now we want to go over here. For this particular one, there is water in here. I'm not squeezing it though because I want to control how much water goes out. I'm dipping mine in my cup. If I was doing something bigger, Lisa, I would probably squeeze it and not have to dip it. But painting small like this, it's easier if you can control it. Now I'm going to take some of this graphite gray, and my brush is just a little bit damp. And I'm just going to do a little bit on their ears, just their little black ears. Right in there. And I'm squeezing some of that excess out. Then I'm going to come over here to this guy and do his beard. It's black. Okay. There we go. So it doesn't look like much right now, does it? But let's bring this thing alive. Okay, so what I want to do at this point is I'm going to start deepening up some of this. So I'm going to take my Mars yellow and I'm just going to come up here. You could go over with a second layer if you wanted it darker. I want to add in some depth on there. So if you look closely, I did not completely cover that. You could also use the, what do they call this color? Green ochre. If you got Mary, you should have the green ochre pencil, and that thing works great with this. I just don't have a green ochre pencil up here. I just have the Neo color. It's the same color, just because it's made by the same company. I'm just using that to darken up his headdress. Now this guy, I want to darken it up, and I'm going to add some details. What is this color called? This is brownish orange. That's this one. I'm just going to add some details right in here, right down here at the bottom. Whenever the pieces are little like this, it does not take much. So see, I just added some depth shading right up in there. And by me using a different color, I'm still able to see some of those words in through there. I love that part about painting on book paper. I like being able. The yellow color is called ochre. Yes, it's is yours ochre, Deborah? If you have the kit, I think it's, or maybe it is just ochre. That's right, Tony. Yeah, I'm glad y'all are asking this. So the yellow paint is Mars yellow, and I'm using a Neo color because I don't have the pencil. My Neo color is green ochre, and I think we decided that the pencil, I think they've dropped the name green. I don't know. But the pencil that came in the Mary kit, that's what you can use on your shepherds. And I do it this way, y'all, for a reason. So I like to create collections. Now I'm going to use that brown, no, Mars. I mean this. Oh, my names. It's called brownish orange. It doesn't look brownish orange, but that's what they decided to name it. So that's this name. And I want to protect that word Messiah right there, so I'm not going to deepen it around the word Messiah. I want that to show up. I license my artwork. For those who didn't know that, I license it to manufacturers who sell to Hobby Lobby and Michaels. So you can, not Michaels, Kirkland's. So you can see some of my artwork in those stores from time to time. And most of those places really like to do things in collections, which is right up my alley because I like to paint in collections. So the secret with the collections is they need to coordinate. So whenever I planned out these kits, I did it strategically so that by the time you got to the shepherd and the Wisemen, all of these colors are going to coordinate really nicely. Now, remember me saying that fuchsite is a lighter version of this. So I'm going to get some fuchsite on my brush, just a tiny bit, and I'm going to darken up this little guy's outfit. And that's going to help him stand out on that grass. Okay, so can y'all see that starting to come alive? Okay, so now what I want to do, I rinsed my brush out. I shouldn't have. I want to get some of that turquoise, and I'm going to come up here around the top, and I'm going to use this to kind of go around the edge, because I want to darken up the sky just a little bit so that our star will stand out. But we kind of need to do this in layers. So I did the turquoise. Now I'm going to come back and get some of our Prussian blue on my brush. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back around the edge. And because this is wet, this is one of the benefits of working with watercolor. It travels with wet. It doesn't even have to be water. Whatever's wet, it's going to travel. And by me holding it up like this, it's going to start traveling down. And it gives an effect that's hard to capture with acrylics. It's hard to do this. You can, but it's not as easy. All right, so I'm going back with the turquoise now, and I'm adding a little bit more. And I see a little spot right here. That's where it didn't get glued down all the way. I think it will lay down though once it's dry. So I'm just deepening that up, and I'm trying to do this while it's still damp so that my colors can start moving down the ornament. Okay, so now I just wet it, and now I'm going back to that Prussian blue. I'm trying to do it so you can see it, but all right, so I've got some more Prussian blue on here. So now I'm going to touch it again. This time I'm coming a little bit more, and I'm just going to, I'm just going to bring some of this down like this. Now I'm just kind of scrubbing it down. I'm helping it. How's that sound? I'm helping it. Going in between there. This is where we want it to be a little bit darker between the guys. You'll see how I'm doing that. I'm just kind of making it darker between there. Going darker up in there. And you could absolutely do this with a pencil. If you had a watercolor pencil, well, even a watercolor pencil would do this as well. Okay, so now I've kind of got it darkened up in there. Let's see. Hold on just a minute. I want to see if I do have a dark blue. I kind of wanted to demonstrate to you how you could do it. And this is the turquoise. Let's see. Okay, you could even do it like this. So if it makes you nervous going in between these guys with a paintbrush, you could use color pencil. This is watercolor pencil. So once I add water to this, it will move. But I'm basically trying to add some darkness, some shadowing around our guys. And that's going to help them stand out more. Can you see? See that? So I could take this dark blue and I could do it up under his little headdress, and look what that did to his outfit. It just adds depth and dimension to it. I keep forgetting to watch for questions, y'all. If you've got questions, let me know. Okay, great, Kelly. Y'all, that brings up a good point. Please post pictures. I would love to see what you end up doing with these. I love this. I just feel like God put this whole collection together because I found this book at an estate sale. I actually bought quite a bit of books from this lady's estate. Maybe she was an older version of me. Who knows? I loved everything she had. So, all right, so let me stay focused. All right, so I want to darken this up a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is use my crayon. If I had my pencil up here, though, I would have used my pencil. But either way works. So see how I just scribbled that on there? I just scribbled it straight on there. And I want to show you, let me do this first, and I'll show you something fun about these. So I put some moisture on my brush, and look at that. It activates that pigment. So this is another thing you can do with these. These are Neo colors. So it's a water-soluble wax pastel. Some people have the Tim Holtz water-soluble crayons. I've not used those, but look, by adding water, it makes it liquid. It activates that liquid. All right, so while that's activated, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start building up my star. And it just so worked out that the word Mary and Joseph is right in there where I wanted the star. Isn't that funny? So the way I make my stars is I make a cross like that. Then I make another line that's thinner, another line that's thinner. So I make an X right in there that's thinner, and that's how I make my stars. So I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back with our white Neo color and color over that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my white and lighten up their heads, because we're pretending like the star is shining down on them, so their heads would be lighter than the rest of them. And I'm going to take this and color in my little sheep. That's why I wanted the white one to be in this kit. And when I colored in my sheep, I realized I missed their noses. So you could either use, if you had a black, I'm going to do one with the black. All right, you could do it with your black Neo color. You could also use a black, like a micron pen, or I can't find mine. Here they are. Like this. You could just scribble it in like that. That works too. This is the fun thing about art. There's more than one way to do everything. So if anybody ever says, oh, you're doing it wrong, well, maybe you're doing it wrong from their way of doing it, but there's lots of ways to create art. And I'm just teaching you my way. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I'm coloring. I'm not coloring. I'm drawing some little curlies. Oh. If you get your micron in wet paint, it's going to throw it off a little bit. So you'll have to, it's better to wait till it dries. Okay, so there's my little sheep, guys. All right, so I want to show you, I need to wait for all this to dry, because if you notice in this, I outlined my guys, but I really need it to dry first. And I also did something really special to their little bodies, and that's what I want to show you now while I wait for it to dry. Then we'll move this to the side. Okay, that was not dry enough, so I'm going to let that dry some more before I try and add to the star. This stuff right here is called gel gloss, regular gel gloss. It looks like my Meemaw's cold cream that she used to use, and this stuff lasts a very long time. It's got multiple uses. I'm trying to get my palette knife. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get it and not turn over my chair. I've had this stuff for over a year. It's lasted a long time. See how thick it is? So you can use this as an adhesive. You could apply all of your collage papers with this. You can also add this to your paint and it will dry thick. So that's what I want to show you with our little sheep. So it dries clear and it dries thick. So I need a little bit of white acrylic paint. Let me get some. I forgot to get that out. So I don't need much, just a little bit. I'm just going to get some of that. Can y'all see that? So I'm going to take some of my gel and I'm going to add it to my white acrylic paint. And you don't have to do this. I just wanted you to see how this works because we can use this same technique for our big sheep. And I probably will. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to touch their little bodies like this. Y'all see that? I'll hold it up in just a second. And if you're nervous about doing this with the palette knife, use a toothpick to apply it. You could even apply this with your finger. But it looks kind of like Divinity. Have you ever made Divinity? Okay, see the texture on there? It's going to dry like that. That's how it's going to dry. So see how that's pointy, one big point. So just smooth it out, however you want to do this. But it just makes a really fun effect for the little sheep. Right in there. Okay. So I'm going to leave that right there. I wished I already had my other sheep ready because we could use it on him also. Where is he? Come here, little guy. Here he is. See this guy here? That's what I used. See that thick right in there? That's that gel gloss. That's what that is. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to take a little piece of the burlap. Oh my goodness. All right, this is what I'm looking at, y'all. I can't. All right, so I can get it out. All right, this is just burlap ribbon. And so I'm going to glue some of this down. So you can decide what you want to do, what you want to use to glue it with. All right, here's what I'm about to do. I'm going to move this before I make a mess. I'm a very messy artist. I don't mean to be that way, but I just am. So you can use either hot glue. I have used that Pritt glue stick. I'm going to use a little bit of this fabric tack because it does dry pretty quickly. And, oh goodness, I thought I had this sitting up so that it would come out better. And I keep forgetting to ask. I painted, okay, let's see. I'm watching for, just painted my fourth one. We'll post pics. Awesome, Alina. I want to make these ornaments. I got supplies, just need the templates. Okay, Holly. Yeah, go to the website. It's in the comments, the direct link for that series. Okay, look there. I know a lot of y'all have supplies, so don't feel bad if you don't get the kit. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Yeah, it does make them look like it's real hair done. I love sheep. Oh my goodness, I love sheep. So we tried to cut this ribbon so that it would fit perfectly like this, and then you can fold it over onto the other side. So I'm not going to fold it yet, but this, I wanted this to go ahead and be drying, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I do too, Sherry. I do too. All right, so now I'm going to take, I think this is dry enough. All right, I'm going to outline his little face. Can y'all see that? Yep, you can. And I'm going to make some marks for his beard. Do some little eyebrows. This guy's face is not showing, so I'm just going to outline. See, it's working good now. Before I was doing it too soon. So it could be, if you could use the Pitt Artist markers also. They work really well. Oh, good grief. I think I messed this one up. He's not wanting to work. Okay, can y'all see it coming alive now? You can also use a pencil, even like a lead pencil. Where is my lead pencil? I need an assistant right here beside me putting my stuff. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. See, look what I just did. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, guys. Hold on, please. All right, so I'm going to take the brown and I'm going to just add a little bit more shadow and outline here. I love the details too. And it does not take much, y'all, to make it stand out. It does not take much. It's easy to overdo it. You don't need much. Does anybody else use this fabric glue? I love this stuff, but I don't know how to, I can't get control of it. Oh, there we go. All right. I just knew I was going to stick my finger in there if I didn't get that cleaned up. So now I'm using the brown. These are Caran d'Ache pencils. They're water soluble. Somebody asked me one time, what's the difference? And basically, you could use watercolor pencils. It's fine to do that. These have a little bit more pigment in it, a little bit more. Okay, Debbie. My husband would say, please do. He's so patient with me, and he tries to help me keep things straightened up so I can find it. And it's like, but I'm working on so many different projects. It's easy for everything to get. Okay, how does it go? What do y'all think? So let me ask you something for those who do. How do you get your stuff out, your glue out? So see, this is just a side rail. What do you call that when you pull off an exit? We're going to pull off the exit for just a second. We had Christmas craft camp. I took this with me. I had a safety pin in there because I saw somebody, not a safety pin, one of these pins like this in there because I saw somebody else doing that. And somehow it got turned over and over half of this stuff spilled out. Does anybody know how is the best way to get your stuff out? Let's see. I love the fabric tack and use acetone to thin it. I love that. Okay, that's good to know. Vicky gets gummy and thick. Okay. It just works really well. I just wished it wasn't so messy. But I'll show you. We'll use it for our beads even. Okay, so here's what I did. I'm getting back on the interstate, y'all. We're getting off that exit and getting back on the interstate. Let's keep trucking. All right, so now that yellow is dry, I can go over it with our white neo color. And look, it just makes this nice dimensional look. If you wanted to thin this down, the neo colors are water soluble. So you could add water to this if you wanted it to look wider and thinner. Whoops, there goes the water again. Hold on, please. All right, here we go. So I want to encourage you to give yourself the freedom to experiment. You just need to do that. Just give yourself the freedom. Okay, so I added a little bit of white to his face for the glow, you know, from the star. Add a little bit of white. I did it, y'all. I covered up the word Messiah, and I was trying to protect it. That's why I underline them, to help me, because I'll end up covering stuff up. So we were talking about this, the people who got the kits, these book pages are like a hidden treasure because you can look for words in it that you want to accent and highlight. Okay, so there's 2 ways to put our beads down. Oh, goodness. Put my thread over there. All right, so in the kit, you have book pages, and we'll use, not book pages, scrapbook paper. We'll use it on the back. But you've got this the clear and white beads. Oh, I would love for you to join us. It's such a sweet group of women, y'all. Would you add stickers or glossy accents to the stars? I'm going to add a little bit of beads to this, I think. The others, I did not add much of anything, but if you have that stickle stuff, it could absolutely look pretty. So, oh, I didn't realize you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so these are see these little beads? I'm going to experiment with this. So let's just do a little experiment. I'm going to spill some of these out. And you know that gloss gel that I told you about? This stuff, it works great to hold your beads down also. You could use the fabric tack glue also. You could do that. Absolutely, you could use that. I'm about to burn up. It must be hot outside. So look, this stuff dries clear. So I'm just drawing a line down the middle of this. You'll see that? And then I'm going to do like this and get a little bit more on there. This is an art supply, so it's thicker. So if you have Fabri-Tac, you could absolutely use this. You could use whatever you want to, really. I'm just trying to show you different ways to do things. Okay, so look at this. I'm using these bugle beads on the star. I'm picking out the larger beads because I want to use those for our big sheep. Okay, so now look. Y'all see that? I think that's going to look pretty when it dries. I think it will. All right, so what else do we need to do with this? You can decide. Do you want to use a few of these down here? I think that would look pretty. I love this kind of stuff. We used to, do y'all know, y'all are probably familiar with the resin art that's popular right now. We did that for like 20-something years on ornaments. We would make ornaments. And I'm thinking about, and I just got tired of doing it. It's so much work because we were making hundreds of them and selling them at shows. And you have to do it, you know, whenever the weather's good and all that kind of stuff. So we stopped making them. But I'm thinking about doing a workshop this fall for making ornaments that way. Would y'all be in? Do you think that's a good idea? I guess is what I'm asking you. Do you think that's a good idea? All right. So now what I should have done is I should have gone ahead and glued my thing down because I don't really want to move this until it's dry. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scoop those white beads back up and I'm going to put them back in their jar, not their jar, their bag. We use these little, bags for this reason. Okay, so I really need to put this to the side. And how are we on time? It's after 1, Are y'all okay if we go 30 more minutes? Usually I just do an hour for the lives. Is that okay with y'all? Lisa does. Okay, awesome. Okay, good, Holly. Okay, so we want our stuff to dry there and there. I feel like I need to add a little bit more to his face to make his skin look darker. This color is a really good color. It's called brownish orange. It looks more mauve, but that's what they called it. But I added that a little bit to his face right there, and I think that helps. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side, knowing that we still need to do the back. All right, we're going to keep moving, girls. Okay, so look at this sheep. So when I did this one, I painted it directly on the book page. I think I did. I don't know if I did or not, y'all. I think I did. That's how I'm going to do it with us. Let's just leave it like that. I'm going to do this directly on the paper. So let me get a little piece. So let me get something to cover this. Let me trace this. So with the sheep, where's my pencil? Doggone it. Okay, I'm just going to use this one. I'm only using this. I'm not going to cut this out. I'm going to show you how we can do this right here on this paper, okay? So then once it dries, then all we have to do is Mod Podge or whatever we want to do, adhesive to apply it, okay? All right, so now let me find my traceable. This is what I like to do. I like to cut these down. Here's my scissors. I'm just going to cut it kind of like that. It's just going to help me place it. So I know this will go at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because that'll help me place it. So what I did with this is I made this a little bit larger. I made it a little bit larger so that part of it would spill off, because I would rather have it large than to have it too small. So that's what I did. All right, so here's an example. So if you notice, most of it it's really up to you, but I see how I didn't do the lines here? I did that on purpose because that's the edge, okay? So now I did not do this in advance. So, all right, where's my tracing paper? If I don't find it quick, I'm just going to draw it on there. I'm just going to draw it because I don't know where it's at. I really wanted to trace that. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Look. If you don't have tracing paper, you could take a pencil and scribble on the back. You could take chalk pastel, scribble on the back, and then lay it down and trace it. You could do that. Or you could do this. It'd probably be more work in the long run, but it works. I'm just going to trace this guy out. I could have just redrawn him, but I'm trying to keep the same perspective. I'm trying to keep the same size that you have. All right, here we go. Okay, what do you think? I think that's about right. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to outline it just like this. Sorry if my arm was in the way. done, having to concentrate. I'm not really sure why. Okay. All right. So, see, these are going to be his little fat. I want to tell y'all something funny about, but probably better not say it, about fat sheep. All right. So, this is his little face right here. Here's his little arms. There's his little ears. Okay, so here I've got it kind of filled in. So with the sheep, you're going to see that it's not going to really start showing up until we start putting the white paint. And you know what? I don't think that was on the supply list. So I'm sorry if it's not. I kind of forgot I used it actually. And it's not mandatory. You don't have to have it. But if you would like to add texture to this, it's one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion, is with that stuff. All right, so here I go. I'm trying to get my little baby lined up. So I'm just tracing that. So this is what you do if you can't find your tracing paper because you've hid it on your desk somewhere. You just cut it out and trace it. Okay, so here we go. I'm trying to do all the mistakes so that you don't have to. Okay, and here's our little, I wanted most of the baby to be like the swaddling clothes. So, all right, so here we are. Let me put my little thing over here. Get him out of the way. And y'all see me trying to keep my table cleaned up, but I still have trouble finding stuff. All right, so we're using the same paint palette. We're using the same tools, and I did all of that on purpose because I really want it to coordinate. So if you got Mary and the star, the colors that are in Mary and the star will coordinate with this. It's going to be a nice collection once we're done with it. It really will be. So where's there it is. So I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I'm just going to get some of this buff. This is what we used for the faces for our shepherds. I'm going to start the baby's face with that. And I'm just going to paint just a little wash of color on our little sheep guy. He's just peeping in at the baby. Yeah. Somebody had asked me what to do if they didn't have the transfer paper. You know, I forget to tell you what to do if you don't have the things. Trying to check for comments. Oh, I love sheep. Oh my goodness, I love sheep. Did you have trouble with other like predators trying to get your sheep? All right, so I'm going to get some of the graphite gray and I'm going to put a light wash. Now remember what I said, that this is watercolor and it moves with wet. It does not have to be water for it to move. So because I put a wash down on his fur, then it's wet. And if that dark gray hits it, then it will move with it. Thank you, Tony, about the transfer paper. I didn't know that Walmart had it. I don't go there very often. Oh, I love donkeys too. Did your donkeys protect your sheep? Did y'all have them at the same time, I guess? I don't know if y'all heard that story about meeting he's a shepherd, and about their donkey. Okay, so let me hold this up and show you. So it's getting kind of dark right in there. So I'm going to take my paper towel just to be on the safe side, and I'm just going to blot some of that up because I don't want it running down into that wet buff Titan. All right, so now let's get some of our sepia and let's do the little feeding trough thing. And with this, we're just going to do it like this. Yeah, Marla, I mean, yeah. But that's what it's designed to do. It's just you have to know how to control it. Because there's some types of art or a painting you might be doing where you want it to travel, but there's times that you don't want it to travel. And that's when it's a little bit frustrating. Okay, so see what I just did? I just put down a wash and I'm just going to let that sit because I'm going to come back with this brown pencil and we'll use it to really put some detail. Now I'm taking my white Neo color and I'm just putting white on the little blanket. Oh, I forgot his ears, y'all. Let me get some more of that gray. This brush is really getting on my nerves because it's spitting water out. There was something that was going on like that. I don't know if he's watching or not. Terry, are you watching? Sometimes he'll watch during lunch. That something was messing up. And I said, I'm just having such a hard time with this thing. Every time I use it, it does this. And he's like, well, if you have trouble with it every time you use it, why are you still using it? I don't know. I had not thought of that. I don't know why I'm still using it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead with my black Neo color, and I'm just going to color him in some. I'm frustrated with that brush, so I'm fixing to get me another one. It's spitting out water. Here it is. I know I just had it. I'm going to swap over to this one, y'all, because that other one was spitting out water, messing me up. All right, so now my buff Titan is pretty dry enough now. I'm going to go in with the white, and I'm just coloring it, just making some little scribbles for his little fur or his wool, not his fur. Okay, so y'all see that? Doesn't look like much right now, but that's okay. It's going to get better once we add our details. All right, so another thing that I want to do with this is I'm going to take that same color, that brownish orange, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to the baby, to his face. And I'm smoothing it in now with just the bristles of my brush, just smoothing it in. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is, I think this is dry enough. I'm going to take the brown, and if y'all got the Joseph, you should have this brown in your stuff. So you can use that, or if you got a brown Neo color, just something to add some marks. This is called mark making. We just want something to add some marks and details to our brown. And once all of that dries, then I'll come back with the Pitt pen or micron pen and just outline it. So I'm waiting for that to dry. I may have to just dry it. Let me see here. Sorry if this is loud. That sheep looks like he's wearing a shower cap. Oh, goodness. It's okay. It'll get better. All right. So I'm going to add one more layer now of the Titan. So yeah, I don't know if y'all can see what's happening, but we're building up our sheep. So now I'm going to take this color again. You know, we put down a wash. So now I'm going to take this one and I'm making curly cues with this. Just little curly cues, squiggles, doodles, whatever you want to call it. But it's just creating some depth so that you're seeing these different colors, the white, the off-white, and then we'll come back and we'll use the gel medium stuff, and we will, I'm looking for my black again. I just had it. Here it is. I'm going to use the nail color. You could use your micron pit pen. Mine's still a little bit wet, so that's why I'm using this. The pens don't like water. So look at what I'm doing now. I'm pushing some of that black up in there, and it's not an even line. It's just a jaggedy line, and that's going to give the illusion that that we want. All right, with this, it's just the okay. Now, while all of this is drying, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other. We're going to take the blue, the Prussian blue, and we're just going to okay, so now I'm going back to this brush. I can get more coverage with this brush. I'm trying not to take all day. I'm trying to watch for comments too. I love this shade of blue. And just remember on this part, if you want to be cautious and wait for this first layer to be completely dry, that is a-okay. I'm doing it now because I'm trying to get this to a good stopping point. Oh, look how pretty the color is falling in together. So I'm also using it to try and make his hair not quite as big as I originally outlined it. See right in there, I cut it in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to come down here and I'm just adding that blue. And I can also use this to outline or to cut in any place that I kind of got off line or something, out of lines, or made it too thick, or you can just use this darker color to even add details to that white. So see how I'm pushing it up? I think you can see that. And then I'll pull it out over here. Don't be afraid of these watercolor. Just experiment with it. Okay, so see how I did even more of that shape like that. And that gives his body even more illusion of puffy. Now I'm going to get a little bit of that turquoise that I used on the shepherds, and I'm going back up here. See, we have to get this section up in here a little bit darker for the star. So the story with this, if you haven't been on this journey with us the whole time, it was inspired by a book called The Two from Galilee by Marjorie Holmes. And so I had purchased that book at an estate sale and just was inspired by the story and thought of it as really the whole nativity was a love story. And so I wanted to try and illustrate each of the typical characters that we normally use when we're decorating with a nativity. I wanted to illustrate each of them as if they were there and what would it be like for them to be with baby Jesus. So this whole series has come about that way. So we're using book pages from that book, The Two from Galilee. Oh, and I almost forgot, I'm going to do a giveaway, and it'll pull the names of the people who have been commenting. So if you're here and you've not commented yet, go ahead and comment if you want to get in on the drawing. So I'm going to be giving away, you can choose, it'll be your choice, but you could, I've got a Two from Galilee book, or you could get a bundle of prints, or you could get one of my lettering workbooks. All right, so here's where it's at. Okay, so I really need for this to dry a little bit more before I do the ink details around it. I love that blue also. I do too. So what I can do though is I can go ahead with my pencil, my brown pencil, and I'm just going to do a little bitty bit, not much, little curlies in here, because now I want to take my gel, that gel that I showed you a minute ago. I'm going to add some more white to it, and then we're going to add some depth. I agree, MK, and I think so. If y'all didn't see what she said, MK said that it helps her feel more confident if she paints on her paper first. And y'all, you can make a copy from this book. So you can make book page copies and paint on that, you know, if you want to do it that way. I think I might get more wood tags and do one for each character. Yeah. I think you'll love it, Shirley. I think you'll love it. So many people are coming back and telling me that they've been intimidated by watercolor in the past and had not tried it, but doing it this way has helped give them confidence in it, you know, and realizing that it's not as hard as it looks. Beth, thank you for telling me that. I've got enough of those tags now. I can sell that. I ordered a bunch of them. Yeah, I have a man that I get these from, but I will post a link. I absolutely will, for the tags. I didn't realize people were having problems with it for a while. Okay, will the pencil lines show up on the sheet under the gel and the white? Yes and no. So that's a great question. So thank you for asking that, Sandy. So the gel dries clear. The white will be some color. So whenever, I'll show you how I'm going to put it down. So I'll be strategic in how I place it. Where did I put it? It does dry kind of quick. So I'm going to get a little bit out, like about that much. I probably won't need that much, but I'm just going to get it out just in case. Oh, and before I do that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and be doing this because this will take several layers to get our star on there. Okay. Then I need a little bit of white. You could, if you wanted to, I've not tried it this way, you could just put the gel on there without the paint. So the recipe that I've got is for this, I think it's not equal parts. So it's more gel than it is paint. So it's probably a 1-to-2 ratio, maybe 2 parts gel and 1 part paint. And that's going to help it stay more translucent. Okay, so don't forget, if you've not commented, go ahead and do that because I'm going to draw. All right, so look at what I'm doing. And y'all, if you are in the Creative Hearts membership, don't forget to use your discount if you've not already ordered your kit. You can use your discount. And if you're not in Creative Hearts membership, I want to invite you to join us. You absolutely could use modeling paste. Yep, you sure could. There's another one. I'm trying to think what it's called. There's another one that will do this. There's quite a few art supplies that could do something similar to this, y'all. You just want it like heavy body paint. If you had heavy body paints, you could use that. I love art supplies. Ooh, I love them. Probably a little bit too much. But I just love them, and I love teaching how to use them with your art. Okay, so look what I did. It's kind of like frosting a cake. I just kind of, if you're frosting a cake, on the first layer, you're really loose and gentle. Then as you get to the top and you're adding your swirls, you're using a really light pressure. Maybe that's a good way to do it. So I'm just using really light pressure to give me some texture. Sherry, I love this series too, and I kind of hate to see it. Well, it won't completely end because I think people will continue to make these. But it could be that we resurrect them. Who knows? And do some resin. All right. So see how I got outside the lines with there? I am not worried about that. I could, if it was a problem and I didn't need it to be outside the lines, while it's wet, I can move it and use my paper towel. Does anybody have questions about any part that I've done so far? The other thing that we can do with this, I'm going to do this before we draw our names, if I can find my bags. So tomorrow we'll finish up this because we've got the other side to do, but we got a lot done. We did the main side of each of these ornaments in this set. So look, I'm going to put a few of these. I'm embedding it down into the sheet wool. Okay, so in the places where I've got thickness, I'm just putting some beads. And I can also do this. Remember, this part dries clear. So I could take this and get a little bit more out. And like if I wanted some beads right up in there, I could embed them into that clear. And then you'll still see what's underneath there. That's an idea too. All right, so then we've got the other beads. Do we want any other beads on here? That's what we've got to decide. Do we want buttons? Got to decide that. When we put this together, the disadvantage of painting it directly on the paper instead of doing it on here, we really have to wait for that to dry before we apply it to our wood tag. What's the cost of the tags? I need to look that up. I don't remember, but I was going to set them up to do them like in sets of 6, I think. I need to look at it, but I'll look at it and let you know. All right, I'm just going to add a little bit of darkness to the little feeding trough thing. Okay, so I'm not going to mess with this. Absolutely. And look, see, this is, you can cut your burlap, like we measured it so you could cut this in half. I could go ahead and cut this in half. That would help. All right, so look, y'all. So take your burlap. So let's cut it in half. We did it so that you would have it for each one and then fold it, and it's on both sides like that. There's so many possibilities with this, really, really are. So I've not done the back side of this, so I'm going to wait to do that for this one. But absolutely with the straw or yellow yarn if you didn't have the straw. So we could even do, I forgot to do it. See, we're supposed to do that, and I forgot. And then we could do this. This yellow is in the Wisemen set. Okay. What do y'all think? I love that idea with the cotton. Debbie, that's a good idea. Absolutely, with the embroidery floss, Karen. That would look cute to chop it up and apply it there. You could take some of these pieces. Oh, I did do that in the original. Look there. This is what I did in the original one. I took a scrap of this and then I put a button there. Yep. I forgot I had done that. Okay, does anybody have any questions about any of this? So, tomorrow we will do the backs of these, and then we'll do the Wisemen. We'll probably only have time to do the Wisemen. We'll do the Camel on Wednesday because the Wisemen and the Camel are a little bit more detailed. So let me get over here to this screen and let me get the giveaway thing started. All right, let's see. Start collecting. All right, let's see who it's going to say. Does anybody have any questions about any of the other ones? Lisa Mills. Okay, Lisa Mills. Do y'all see that? Does it show up? Lisa Mills is our first winner. And let me get this down so I don't forget. Let's do again one more. So Lisa, all you have to do is, oh, I know what I need to do. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. Hold on. Lisa, if you will email and let us know if you would like the, it's not going to let me share my screen. I thought it would let me share it. It's not letting me. So let me do the next one. If you'll let us know, Lisa, if you want the Two from Galilee book, or if you want the print bundle, Debbie Murrell Phillips is the second one. Debbie Murrell Phillips. I wish they would let me share my screen. You are the second winner, Debbie Murrell Phillips. So let us know if you would like, which one you would like. And let me get her name down so I don't forget. And then tomorrow at 12 noon Central, I will be back and we'll finish these up. If you don't have, let me tell you this, because you may not, this was not on the supply list and you might need to look for it unless you're more organized than I am. I use an X-Acto knife is what I use to punch the holes in mine. So like I poke a hole like this. Then I poke a hole. It's like an X. I make an X that way and that way. Then I flip it over carefully and do it like that. And it makes that paper lay down and it fills that hole and it looks nice and clean. So if you don't have an X-Acto knife, look for that. And I'm sure you could do it different ways, but look how that's drying. I think it's drying really pretty. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do the backs of these and we'll start our Wisemen. Okay, so thank y'all for being here. And let me move this back. Okay. Thank y'all for being here. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, and can't wait to see what y'all end up doing with yours. We finished in good time because my computer's telling me my battery is almost low, almost out. I forgot to plug it up. So post pictures. If you don't have the kits, we still have kits. I would love for you to order one. We'd love to ship it to you. You already got the book. Awesome, Lisa. We'll do the print bundles for you. Awesome. All right. So, y'all, I'll be back. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And I forgot to tell you something. Hold on. One more thing. Where's my phone? I want y'all to meet a friend of mine. She's a business friend. On Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. I had to confirm the time. Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. I want y'all to meet my friend Jonica. She's doing something special, something creative, and I want y'all to hear about it. So if you're free, Wednesday at 9, and then we'll come back at 12 and we'll do ornaments, but we'll just have a good old time. Thank you, Brenda. This is one, I think, from last year. We have the greatest gift kits in the website. I'm not sure if we have any more of the shirts. All right, I'll see y'all later. I'm going to clean up my mess so I can be ready for tomorrow. All right, y'all have a good evening.